saying we don't want to offend the French. That's the job of the English, to offend the French, for goodness sake. And vice versa. It's our history. And to say, oh, to rename the ship because it was named after a battle from 600 years ago is going to be triggering to, no, it's not. Nobody cares. Get over it. And to name it Achilles I thought that was a bit that was a bit on the nose, isn't it? Because obviously Achilles' heel is the downfall of a nation, whereas Agincourt was one of the great British victories.
Breaking right now, King Charles under fire for the first time in his reign for making a woke decision which has been slammed by military bosses and means he's given in to the pathetic President Macron and those sensitive folk in France. So take a look at this story. He has ordered the Navy to rename HMS Agincourt in a move dubbed pathetic. Now, he made the intervention to avoid upsetting the French, sources confirmed to The Sun. As a result, the nuclear-powered sub was renamed HMS Achilles. However, the proposal has been rejected as woke nonsense, and the last government refused to listen to Charles on this. However, Charles raised it with the very woke Keir Starmer after Labour came in. Now, the background to this, of course, is it was the sixth Navy vessel to be named after the outnumbered English's 1415 victory over the French, and there has been a storm of criticism, even though it's Charles who made this decision. Ex-Defence Secretary Ben Wallace said the switch showed a pathetic grasp of foreign policy. Ex-NATO Commander Rear Admiral Chris Parry called it craven political correctness and ideology gone mad. And Gavin Williamson, the former Conservative Defence Secretary, slammed the move as pathetic and woke. So Father Calvin Robinson, there is that story on the front page of the Daily Express. You know that on the whole, I want to support our monarch. Calvin, I am a big supporter of the British royal family. I understand that Charles is going through a huge personal battle in terms of cancer at the moment. But why did he get involved in this, Calvin? It was completely inappropriate, and I feel like we're just giving in all the time. Why don't we be proud of our history and just tell Macron, deal with it?
It was an unnecessary defeat. He didn't need to engage in this battle. There's no hill to die on here. Saying we don't want to offend the French. That's the job of the English, to offend the French, for goodness sake. And vice versa. It's our history. And to say, oh, to rename the ship because it was named after a battle from 600 years ago is going to be triggering to, no, it's not. Nobody cares. Get over it. And to name it Achilles I thought that was a bit on the nose, isn't it? Because obviously Achilles' heel is the downfall of a nation, whereas Agincourt was one of the great British victories. So why would we go from a great victory to the downfall of a nation? I suppose it's a sign of the times and what our Royal Navy is capable of these days.
Yeah, but what's next? What's next? Is King Charles going to say that we should rename Waterloo Station in London, for goodness sake?
I mean, it's possible. I wouldn't put it past him. Why? It's not his job. Stay out of politics. Stay in the palace. That's his job.
Yes.
I'm like you. I love the monarchy. I love the idea of being a constitutional monarchy. However, I don't like this king. He's not doing a very good job. I haven't heard him speak out on the Pakistani Muslim rape gangs. I haven't heard him speak out on many atrocities recently. I have heard him speak out on issues of wokeness. Again, why? What is that about? Priorities, sir.
Well, look, we know that he is the nut zero king. We know that. I think I'm not as harsh as you because I was very critical of him, by the way, when he was Prince of Wales. Very, very critical. On the whole, he has behaved himself as king. And I also just feel desperately sorry for him that he waited his entire life for this job and then is struck down by cancer. I find that really difficult. But what I don't like, Calvin, is his growing close personal relationship with Slippery Starmer. So even before Starmer became Prime Minister, he was invited to Windsor Castle for this big sleepover, and it was all about getting to know each other. I thought, I don't like that. I don't like it because it was almost like Charles had it with the Tories and thought, here's a guy who probably agrees with me in a lot of things, and I will be able to influence him. Whereas Liz Truss told Charles, no, you're not going to the COP summit. You can do something at Buckingham Palace, but you're not going. And that is really how it should work.
Quite right, too. Absolutely. The king should be advising the prime minister, but the prime minister is the one who says yes or no to these issues. And it seems that Sir Keir Starmer is not man enough to say no to the woke king wanting to rename one of our vessels to make it more woke. It's a shame, but it's kind of the epitome of where we're at with Great Britain at the moment, isn't it? They take the great out of Great Britain if they could.
Well, that's probably going to be next. That is probably going to be next, isn't it? I mean, look, we've allowed the French to walk all over us. And I think what's so difficult is seeing what's going on where you are, the big political changes happening in the US, and then seeing decisions like this. I mean, President Trump has literally changed the name of the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America. That's leadership. And we're having the French dictate the name of our nuclear submarines. Go away. Be bold. We've got to be stronger.
The juxtaposition is interesting, isn't it? You're right. The patriotism, the confidence of President Donald Trump is like, that's not the Gulf of Mexico, that's the Gulf of America. He's like, I'm going to take Panama back. The canal's ours. It's like this is good. We're expanding. Whereas Britain's doing the exact opposite and becoming introverts. Say, oh, no, we can't have it called that. We'll have to call it something more friendly to the French. What are we doing with ourselves? When are we going to regain our confidence? We were the greatest nation in the world. We had the greatest empire in the world throughout human history. What has happened to us as a people? Serious question.
Serious question. Perfect point to end our discussion today, Father Calvin, because it all links, doesn't it? It's all linked up. And that's why you're not going to hear much coverage of Suella Braverman's speech in the mainstream media. But Father Calvin, so good to have you. We will talk next week.
Cheers, Dan. God bless.
And actually, I want to come back to Suella's speech before we go, because I'm just looking through your comments here. By the way, Meow Moog messaged to say, just wish Dan read comments, etc. Makes me wonder if it's pre-recorded. Meow Moog. No, it's not. We're very much live. I try and keep across as many of your comments as possible while we're on air. And I'll always look afterwards, of course, as well. But no, we are live, and you now get to vote for the Greatest Britain Union Jackass every day while we are live. So a couple of comments that I have been looking at from you throughout the show on this Suella Braverman speech. Simple Jack, although I don't think he's simple given how smart this comment is. I'm really surprised how the citizens of the UK have not completely revolted by now. It really looks like things are hanging by a thread and they aren't even hiding their intentions. But Pauline Nicol on the other side, she says, sorry, but I can't take Suella seriously. Her party was in power for 14 years. This all started and accelerated under her government. Let's not forget that. And Pauline, look, I haven't forgotten that. I absolutely haven't forgotten that. Obviously, the trust I had in the Conservative Party is long gone. There are a few gems. And Suella is one of those gems. Because remember, she did actually put her money where her mouth was and resign. And look, I want her to join Reform UK. Let me just be totally honest about it. Okay, let's go to Greatest Britain Union Jackass now. 3 nominees today. First, though, hot flashes, sleepless nights, weight gain, joint pain. I know a lot of you are dealing with or have dealt with these symptoms, especially the women in the Outspoken family. Now, obviously, I haven't experienced menopause firsthand. That is scientifically impossible. But I know from you about the challenges that you face. But I've got good news today. By now, most of you have heard me talk about Verso. I've been taking their products for months, and it's been absolutely transformative for me. But today, I want to focus on all of you amazing women out there, especially those dealing with menopause or perimenopause. Celbene by Verso is designed to target those symptoms head-on by addressing the root cause. It's formulated with ingredients that are proven to increase NAD+ levels. And boosting NAD+ can make a big difference in how you feel. Women who've used it have seen hot flashes disappear, more energy, joint pain relief, weight loss, and mental clarity. Some listeners have even told me their periods have come back or have become regulated, and they feel like they've turned back the clock on aging. The ingredients in Cellbean have shown to balance hormones without going the traditional hormone therapy route. It also helps with inflammation and metabolism, which is especially helpful for managing weight and keeping you feeling your best. What I love about Cellbean is it doesn't just mask the symptoms of menopause, it tackles the root causes of aging. So if you haven't tried it yet and you're ready to take control of your health and feel more like yourself, you can just click in the description on YouTube or Rumble, or head on over to buy.ver.so/outspoken. Use the coupon code outspoken at checkout to save 15% on your first order. So if you're sick of those sleepless nights, the hot flashes, or just feeling off, give Cellbean a try. I'm going to repeat the address now, buy.ver.so/outspoken, and use the coupon code outspoken. But now, back to the show. Rachel from Accounts, nominated by Deborah because she doesn't have a clue how to manage the economy. I have better knowledge with my A-level economics from 1980. Nominee 2, Ed Miliband. That nomination was from Helen O'Driscoll, who says he's a dangerous fanatic. The reason why I actually think he should be nominated today is because he's done this total U-turn on the Heathrow third runway. Oh, I'm going to resign, he said. Yeah, right. Obviously he hasn't. And also the Bristol City Council Green Party run authority. This was a nomination from Scumpy Jackson. I liked it because they want household waste collected monthly, which is just so gross and so wrong. The results are in, with 8% the Monthly Rubbish Collection Council, with 33% Mad Miliband, but I guess it's her day. Rachel from Accounts, Rachel Reeves, the failed Chancellor, with 59% of the vote. She is Union Jackass today. Greatest Britain, this is some really nice news. Congratulations to Princess Beatrice on the safe arrival of her premature daughter, named Athena. They've posted this beautiful picture. That nomination was from Linda. Thank you so much for watching Dan Wootton Outspoken. Please click on my face just to the bottom left to subscribe to this brand new independent news source and turn on the notification bell so you'll be alerted to our brand new live shows, uncancelled interviews, and special royal episodes. Outspoken is also now available as a podcast, so you can listen to the show every weekday on the go, wherever you are.